What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Last week I was speaking to one of my close relatives and we got on the topic of retirement. We started talking about how I plan on retiring early and things like that, and he expressed a small concern that he doesn't really have a retirement plan. That kind of got my wheels spinning, and I wanted to make a quick video today to talk about how you can start planning for your retirement and get an idea of where you need to be for your retirement so that you can quit working one day, whether that be at 65 or whether that be in 10 to 20 years. So with that being said, I want to talk about some of the tips that I use for thinking about my retirement, how I got started thinking about it, and basically how you might be able to start thinking about your retirement and plan it, figure out how much money you need and things like that. Now, retirement is going to be different for every single person. For one person, it might mean just leaving your 9 to 5 so that you can, dive into other personal businesses or other ventures that you would like to start outside of your 9 to 5. For someone else, that might just mean relaxing on the beach at 65 and enjoying a couple of margaritas. But however retirement looks for you, you're going to have money to get there. So I want to talk about how you can start thinking about retirement and get an idea of how much money you might need so that you can do whatever it is that you need to do, whether that be sitting on the beach or starting your own business, running your own business. Now, when you think of retirement, you might be thinking of something like your company's 401k or even a Roth IRA that I talked about in previous videos, which is totally fine because that's the two most common accounts that are associated with retirement. The issue with those is you have to wait until you're a specific age to start withdrawing from those accounts. So what those accounts contribute to is leading people to believe that retirement is a specific age instead of thinking about it like a math problem or equation, which in reality it is. Now, like most math problems, there's going to be more than one solution to achieve the equation, and the equation is going to be different for every single person because it's really depending on your needs and your spending habits. It's also going to depend a lot on your interests. For instance, some people might not be interested at all in real estate or, being a landlord and getting passive income from rental properties. Some people may hate the stock market and they may not want to invest in dividend stocks or ETFs or anything like that. Since there is no set rules for retirement, it's completely up to you. But the reason that I want to talk about this today is because I don't want you to end up at 50 years old and you have no clue how you're going to retire and you only have 10 to 15 years to figure it out, because that would be a very stressful situation. So I want to get you started as early as possible. But even if you are past the age of 50 or you're getting into the years where you're starting to think about retirement, hopefully I can shed some light on some tips that might be able to help you wrap your head around how you might be able to retire. Now, for the purposes of this video, I did make a quick spreadsheet. I don't want to nerd out on you guys, but I just want to walk you through how I started thinking about retirement. Obviously, my strategies and things like that have evolved, and the way that I'm going to reach the goals might be a little different. I can talk about that in another video, but this is where I kind of started. This is a spreadsheet that I learned in college how to make. And so I wanted to share that with you guys and kind of show the inputs and things like that so that you can get a grip on the amount of money that you might need so that you can either quit working or, dive into your personal ventures and start doing things outside of your 9 to 5. So I'm going to take you over to my screen and share a little bit of my spreadsheet with you. All right, guys, I know I don't want to geek out on you too bad with this spreadsheet, so I'm just going to kind of run through it and talk about what each section means. That way you can plug in your own specific number so that you can figure out what your retirement number is and then start planning on how you can get to that number so that you can retire in a timely manner. So to start up here, first off, what this is going to tell you how much money your current spending is going to be worth at the time you retire. So this is going to be the future value of your current spending. So if you are currently spending $50,000 per year, in 20 years, factoring in 3% inflation for every year, your $50,000 is going to be $90,000 in 20 years. So that's what this is talking about. This is going to be your annual living cost whenever you get to that retirement age. That's basically how much you're going to have to pull out to fulfill your standard of living if you were to maintain the standard of living. Now, of course, if you are currently spending 50 grand per year, but you know that in retirement you would like to travel more or spend more money, factor that in. This is obviously totally up to you, and you can use whatever numbers that you want. So if you want to say, I want to travel for 30 grand a year, so spend 80 grand a year, that's obviously going to change everything else and all the other different inputs. Moving on to the next section, this is just how much money you need to have on the day that you retire to maintain the standard of living that you established for yourself in the first section. So as you can see, it takes this future value of current spending, and that's going to be your average withdrawal per year, or your annual withdrawal per year. Now, investment return in retirement, everyone talks about, you want to kind of ease off an aggressive investing strategy in retirement, which is totally fine. So for terms of kind of what I was studying, everyone was saying like you want 5% in retirement. I think that you could probably even do something like 7%, and that could be safe. Now, current age, you just put in your current age, and that's going to figure it out. Now, whenever I was a financial advisor, anytime that we talked about retirement, we always talked about up until the age of 95. If you live past 95 years old, that's going to be excellent. That's great for you. But in terms of financial planning, 95 is really the number that, they set up for when you pass away, as dark as it sounds. So what this is the years in retirement, and that's just going to be calculated by taking 95, which is the retirement age, minus years until retirement, and minus the years for your current age. And that's going to tell you how many years you will be spending in your retirement. So basically, you're going to need $144,488 every year for 51 years. Now, $1,998,000 is going to help you do that. So if you need $1,998,000 to retire, before you retire, also, this is, kind of a low percentage for me. You could easily bet on a 10% return, which is totally fine. And then this is just kind of the monthly return. So what this last section is it's going to be how much you would, in theory, need to invest monthly to reach this specific number so that you can have the standard of living that you would like. So if I wanted to spend 80 grand per year in retirement, and I wanted to retire in 20 years, that would be $144,488.90. Now, to pull out $144,488 in 20 years, every year, for as long as I'm retired, I assume that I have a 7% return in retirement, and I have 51 years in retirement. That means that I'm going to need $1,998,638. Now, if I need this amount of money on the day that I retire, then this last section is going to talk about how much I need to invest monthly. So obviously this is insane. For 20 years, you may want to do this at like 40 years because that's kind of a standard retirement if you're starting early. Now 40 years, as you can see, that's going to drastically decrease the amount that you would need to invest monthly. So this is going to be the months that you retire, because this is how much you're investing on a monthly schedule. So if you were to invest this much every month, which might seem like a lot, but if you look at this big, huge number here, that's going to allow you to retire and live 31 years without working, then that seems like a pretty fair gamble to me, to be honest. I wouldn't even call it a gamble. That seems like a pretty fair deal to me. So to invest this monthly, you would need to do $517.13, which kind of breaks it down into a more realistic, goal. So if you kind of just automate that amount of savings, or investings rather, it's not really savings, you're going to have to invest it. So if you were to invest this amount every month for 40 years at a 10% rate of return, then you would have $3,270,000, which seems unfathomable, but hopefully that puts it into perspective how realistic it is to achieve that goal. Of course, there's a lot of varying factors here. You may feel like you can, achieve a 12% rate of return, which would basically bring that down to less than $300. Again, I think that 12% is reasonable, especially in the market that we've been in. Obviously, it's been a lot crazier in recent years. We've been in a bull market for a long time, but over the years, I think that 10 to 12% is realistic. But for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and leave this at 8%, and you can kind of plug it in. If you have a different strategy for investing, you can figure out whatever rate of return you think that you can get up until the day that you retire. All right, now I know that spreadsheet might have stressed some of you guys out, and if it did, I'm very sorry, but hopefully that helps you get a good grip on the amount of money that you need for retirement, the number that you need to hit, and gives you a tangible number to start working towards and investing that type of money so that you can retire at the age you want. The reason that I have that set up the way that it is so that you can put in whatever age that you want, however much money that you would like to spend in retirement. And again, there's more than one way to get there. You can do a ton of different things, whether you're in real estate, dividend investing, or if you just want to stick to a Roth IRA or 401k, it's totally up to you. Retirement is however you envision your life and however you would like to spend your own time. Again, I know retirement is different for everyone and it means something different for everyone. Whatever that means to you is totally fine, but I just want to make this quick video so that I could teach you how to get a grip on your retirement plan and figure out what type of money that you need to retire so that you can do the things that you need to do. I know that money's not the funnest thing to talk about, but unless you start thinking about it now, it's going to be a huge pain in the butt later as you move into that age where you start thinking about retirement. If you have no money saved up or invested, it's going to be a lot harder to worry about that then than it is to start worrying about it right now. So hopefully this video helps you out and helps you get a good grip on your finances and what situation you're in and how you might be able to retire early. If it did, please help me out and just smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment, and I'll respond to as many as I can. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I can either address them in the comments or in a future video. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.